Bill Maher just exposed one of the biggest political traps in America. Hating Trump so much that you wind up sounding soft on Iran. Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Schiff.
I think the reality is you have to find a way to do both stand up to Trump and also deliver for people.
Stand up, but I mean, don't you think after 10 years, it's just a little, I mean, it's a bit of an eye roll. When people see that, they just think, that's all you got. That's all you Democrats have, is fuck Trump. And we're looking for something different. It seems like Tallarico is making this case, and I think the fact that he won in Texas, I think says a lot.
The conversation, for the most part, stops being about the personality of someone, okay? This is nothing more than childish politics, right? And it's starting to actually expose like a bigger problem in our political system in the first place here. You don't have to like someone. That's amazing. If you want to go up against them, that's also equally amazing. But you have to make your platform larger than the actual person itself, because all you're really doing is going to ostracize other people who may be independents or either slightly on the fence about him. Understand this here. You cannot make your entire platform just basically be, hey guys, I'm not Donald Trump.
Kamala Harris made a statement. She said, this is a war the American people don't want. And who knows more about what the American people don't want? But she's right. Like 6 out of 10 American people don't want this war. Okay, it doesn't mean they're right. We'll see. What's bizarre is, Don, I'm one of the few people on your enemies list who is backing you on this, sort of, we'll see. And yet today, this is today, March 6th, at 8:50 a.m., he tweets about the war. There will be no deal until we have unconditional surrender, important statement to be put out. An hour later, 8 posts about me. I'm not joking. An hour later. And what happened with the Valentine's Day massacre and his tweet about that, which I'll be talking about at the end of the show. But, okay, this is today. And then 15 minutes later, again, back to the war. We are moving thousands of people out of the Middle East to safer places. Okay, an important message to get out. Then back to me. The people at Mediaite wrote a headline that said, here's why Trump is raging at Bill Maher in the middle of an actual war. Why? Tell me. This is getting weird. I'm just telling you, thank God I didn't spend the night. All right,
Bill Maher is one of these interesting people to me. I think for the most part, he's always kind of been. I think he is someone like how most Americans should probably be, somewhat stuck in the middle. But having the ability, let's say, to kind of either dabble slightly on the left or the right, but not completely like fully echo chambered and like inundated by other people's groupthink mentality. I've always found him moderately interesting for that kind of point here, because yes, he's a Democrat. He's obviously, I'd call him center left, but he's like one of the last sane ones on TV, if that makes any sense here. So I would definitely probably consider myself most likely center right, maybe, depending on the conversation that we're having, obviously, right? His ideals tend to line up to a more center left type of argument here, all right? That could stress a lot of people out. Let's just be completely honest here, Bill Maher. That's probably what's stressing people out.
I think, Bill, you're right. It is probably 90% voting against Trump and 10% voting for Democrats. But the fact that we have been united on a message that centers around people's everyday cost of living, their inability to afford medication and groceries and everything else, that is a big enough umbrella for a very diverse Democratic Party to stick together behind. And so far, it's been very successful. And I think if we continue between now and this November with a laser-like focus on trying to improve the quality of people's lives and helping them, make sure the economy works for them, then we can have a resounding November. If we get
You're going to. They're going to kill it in November. There's no doubt about it.
Do you think the Democrats are going to kill it?
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it.
But there's a long time between now and then.
There is a long time, but it's the words that I ended my editorial tonight with. Was it John Ossoff who said that?
Yeah.
Like, they are the elites they pretend to hate. But as you saw, what I said after that is, if the Democrats can weaponize that message, if. It doesn't seem like it should be that hard, because the stuff is right there laying on the table.
The bulk of Trump's base do not like the idea of forever wars, okay? Like, even though they're definitely voting for the idea of obviously the economy, along with illegal immigration, okay? Understand these things here. No one really wants to be dragged into a forever war, specifically in that region, again. There are going to be some people who are just like, yeah, I don't care, destroy them, right? I get that. There's going to be some of those people, but I do not think that's the overall bulk of America who have 401ks, IRAs, these type of things set up, that they do not want to see their money being completely wiped out overnight when the market crashes, guys. That and or gas prices completely booming in ways that no one really wants either. That's most likely going to be slightly more damaging in November than anything else, okay? I think that truthfully is just what it's going to come down to. And we'll see where this goes, obviously, right? I mean, if we can actually get out of this as soon as we possibly can, then that'll be amazing. But I don't think that we can any longer due to the most recent strike on the oil fields here, guys, right? Because again, you started targeting the economics of the country. Normally when you're at war with someone, let's say this year, you don't destroy the economy, because then you start to push the people to turn against you. So now if there are 650,000 ground troops coming in Iran and there are 90 million people there, you're starting to actually now affect their daily, right? Because what the country basically survives off of is what you are now striking like it's nothing. I don't know how we're going to pull ourselves out of this now. I think it's too late. And the fact that obviously we just sent another strike group out there, the speculation is that they may actually have to be there for 11 months. 11 months in this, with the monthly costs of each one of the strike groups, is a little bit absurd. So I can only imagine here, guys, understand this. There are going to be issues in November. I agree.
Do you support Bernie Sanders' new legislation that calls for an annual, this is for you, Senator, an annual 5% wealth tax on America's billionaires?
Yeah, so I haven't looked at Bernie's proposal, but I'm supporting a Wyden proposal, Ron Wyden, which would basically put a tax on unrealized capital gains. So a lot of very, very wealthy people never have to sell all the assets they own. They pass them to their heirs. They live off of what they borrow from these appreciating assets. And so they don't have to pay tax on any of this. And you could raise trillions of dollars.
You're talking about estate taxes?
What's that?
Are you talking about the estate tax?
I'm talking about taxing unrealized capital gains. So if you have something that keeps appreciating in value and you're making over 100 million in income every year, which is a small group of people, we should tax that. We should have a much more progressive tax code. I'm going to look at what Bernie's proposed. But I think at the end of the day, we have to address this extraordinary income gap, the degree to which a handful of families own more collectively, half a dozen families, than 40% of the whole country. And so whether it's a wealth tax like Bernie's or it's a proposal like Ron Wyden's, I'm for it if it's going to help address this income inequality and use those resources to make the economy work for average Americans again.
But Gavin's against it. It's interesting that there is a split in the Democrat. Gavin Newsom's a pretty liberal guy. He's against this. Billionaires, I'm a million miles from being one, so I don't give a shit what happens to them.
Well, if you look at this in the most simplistic way, let's just be honest. If you have the opportunity to live in America where you have the privilege of becoming a billionaire,
right?
What is 5% going to
couldn't agree more.
Matter? I don't know the specifics, but
the problem is, here's the argument against it. This is why Gavin Newsom is against this. It makes billionaires leave the state, and many already have. So then the tax base actually goes down.
But where are they going to go? They're going to stay in
Florida.
America. Okay, but just
Texas.
But if it's in the entire America, if it's 5% of all billionaires, where are they going to go? They're going to move to another country?
Well, if you make it a federal law.
Yeah.
But that ain't going to happen.
We have gone through the idea of taxing unrealized capital gains. Basically, let me go ahead and break it down, because I'm not sure Adam Schiff here fully understands what he's saying. He may, right? But he's not breaking it down to a base level here. Okay, guys, listen. How these super wealthy people do it is intriguing here, but again, it's a legal system. I guess if you don't like it, change it. But if you change it, they're going to leave. That's just the default here. And then, yeah, in fact, Bill Maher said the tax base will absolutely shrink. That's exactly what will happen immediately. Yeah, there's no question here, because why would they choose to stay there when you're looking to basically pilfer money? So there are some super rich people who are basically only making, $12 a year, but yet they are super wealthy, meaning that they're most likely getting some type of share from their company, etc. And when they're doing this here, they're taking loans out on their assets that are definitely increasing in funds here. So if they're getting stock options instead of salary, that's the smartest play you possibly can. Like, if that's an option for you, take that. Take that immediately, because that almost kills taxes immediately, guys. Okay. Specifically, if you never sell them, which who's going to sell it? Don't sell it. Just take a loan against it. And guess what can't be taxed? A loan. Okay. And then obviously pay the loan back with your next set of a loan. If that makes any sense. You're just going to keep doing this over and over. This is how the super rich do it. And not have to worry about paying taxes on things, being completely ripped off and having to pay kind of large scale for some people specifically who choose not to do anything with their life here. In terms of income inequality, that is a crazy thing in the United States of America, because we have created a place, a country, where some of the most entitled people on this planet exist within. Our welfare system is absolutely being abused consistently. And I mean terribly. There are some people who definitely need it, okay? In fact here, like over a certain age, don't mind, as long as you did something with your life, I don't mind it. Or if you're like handicapped, you're good, bro. I got you, right? But if you are an able-bodied individual who have been on government assistance for the entirety of your life, I'm not sure why we're paying for you. And the reason why I'm saying this is because what are you giving back to the country? Right? Like, I mean, we cannot consistently give things to people who are generally not giving back to the country. Now, there are definitely exceptions into this rule, because there are always exceptions to every single rule, right? There are some people who have been on this system when they needed it the most, and they were able to get off of this system and do something that was meaningful for their life and their family, to the point where they made it out, and all of these stories. I get it, guys. These are exceptions. I wouldn't say that by default this is going to be the rule in the United States of America, specifically in certain communities, guys, right? But just understand there's a lot of absolutely terrible abuse in that system, and it needs to be cleaned out. And if you are from the age of 18 to 64, personally, nah, guys, you should have like a 90-day, every 3-year type of, like, if we need to help you out for 90 days, no problem. But indefinitely is a no, guys. Listen, I do back the idea of a meritocracy-based system. You eat what you kill, right? Yeah, you have to, right? Because, like, I can only give you my specific anecdotal evidence here. I remember in my life at one time, things were bad, guys. I mean, bad. And I remember like getting just like legitimate handouts by like family, and it had nothing really to do with me going to the government for anything. I never did that, right? But family, getting help when I basically needed it, knowing fully that I had to make something work, okay? Not consistently allow other people to basically take care of me. What is that helping? How is that helping me? How is that helping me build anything? It's not doing anything. It's just keeping me weak, because I'm just getting everything for free. That's not really a system that I kind of wanted to work within. And this is why I have the attitude that I have. I think when things are absolutely terrible, okay, something happens in your brain, all right, that says, I can do something. I think you need the down so you can get up.